It's Friday. We're gonna do some form checks. Let's go, guys. Hey, welcome back to Form Check Friday. Thank you all for being here. We are going to dive in. We've got another great group, so thank you to everybody from Reddit and beyond who posted videos this week. Just a quick thing I wanted to say. I know I should spend a little bit of time in the beginning of these videos talking about things I'm doing and actually promoting my work. So I just want to let you guys know, if you are not already a subscriber, I do have a email newsletter. It's one email, it goes out every Sunday, talks about training, nutrition, life, stuff like that. So there's usually a little bit of an essay and then some other links. So if you're interested in subscribing to that, there's a link in the description. There should be for this video. Or you can just go to my website, HORNSTRENGTH.com, and you can sign up right on the top of the home screen. So that's one thing. And then the other thing I just wanted to mention is I'm writing another book. It's a short ebook. I think I did skim the questions before starting this video. So someone mentioned it. So I just want to say at the front that I do have it's going to be all digital, just an ebook. It's basically one program that I had to cut from my bigger book, Radically Simple Strength. There was just too many programs in there to be able to say it was radically simple. So there was one sort of post-advanced, late intermediate, advanced program, mainly hypertrophy focused. And it's the program I've personally been running for a couple years now. And there just wasn't enough space in the book, so I always intended to write this follow-up. And again, it's more of it was initially designed as a strength maintenance program for me, just because I didn't really care about setting PRs anymore. I wanted to focus more on hypertrophy and just kind of maintaining the strength I had acquired. But it ended up working out better than I thought, and my strength kind of shot up over the course of the year. So I'm very excited to share it with you. I'm editing the draft right now. I've got to build some tables and do some design work and then make a cover and all the promotional stuff. But I'm hoping to have it done within a couple weeks, and then I'll let you guys know about it. So, stick around for that. And let's dive into today's form checks and help you guys figure out what the hell's going on under the barbell. So for those of you joining for the first time, I have not seen any of these videos, so it's all happening together here. So let's dive in and let's see what's going on. Number one, hi Paul, you gave me a couple things to work on last week. Mainly my stance was too wide and too much hips back and not enough knees forward, causing a way too low back angle. I'm assuming you mean horizontal. I watched the videos you recommended and made those adjustments. I also had soft unlocked knees at the start position. I didn't even realize I was doing that. And it's taking a lot more effort and brain power to break the habit than I thought. Thanks for taking the time to look at these. Here is my second set of 5. I dropped the weight from 265 to 225. Okay, let's take a look and see what improvements have been made. How is that 225? That looks like, those look like 35s. Oh no, they're 45s. Okay, you're good. Stance looks good. Bar placement looks good. Wrists look great. No hip drive. Still taking too long to lean over. I want to see you just nipples to the rubbers. Nah, you got to go faster than that. Better hip drive. You need to dive for the floor. Just lean the hell over right away. Okay. I think you may have been the guy where your hips were going up and back instead of just straight up, because they're still kind of doing that. That one was better. That was better. Let's see. Come on. You got this. Yeah, okay. So I think I remember you from last week, and we had this problem where you had too much weight on your heels. And so you were leaning over too much because to keep the bar over the middle of the foot with all your weight, instead of over the middle of the foot, all your weight was on your heels. And so to compensate for that, you actually have to lean over. You'll be forced to lean over way more just because, and you have to keep that. The default is to keep the bar over the middle of the foot. So you're going to compensate with a more horizontal back angle. These are better for sure. So good work. But we could still make some improvements. So let's see if we can watch that again. And I think I mentioned some stuff, but we'll kind of go through it. So the main thing is you have to establish that back angle, that leaned over position, like immediately. So you're still, if we watch you track all the way down and we watch how long it takes you to set the horizontal back angle, you're still leaning over all the way down. So you don't even hit the right position until you're at the bottom of the rep. I don't want to see that. You need to get that back angle set as early as possible, and then you just keep it. Your goal is to just maintain it. So you're hesitating too much. You got to get way more aggressive, leaning over faster. Just shove your knees out and dive for the floor, like right away. Now, you don't have to go down very quickly, but you have to lean over very quickly. So lean over and get the knees out right away. And then the second half of the descent should just be, why is it? Oh, sorry. I'm washing out here with the lighting and stuff. The second half of the descent should just be this consistent back angle where you're not leaning over more, your knees aren't moving, you're literally just you're holding the position and taking it down and then driving back up. So, and again, on that first rep, and I think maybe the second or third, like your hip drive there's not enough of it. And I think the first rep there was none. You just started lifting your chest again. So remember, the idea is lean over right away and then stay leaned over all the way down. Let's see the hips pop first and then hang on to that back angle all the way back up until you get near the top, and then you finish by standing up. Okay? So let's watch it again. I'll see if I can pause it. So by like right here, you should have the back angle you're going to have at the bottom, right? You can see this angle right here. Okay? That, when you get to the bottom, it's going to be like this. So you need to get into that position sooner. That's really the deal here. And I mean, better hip drive on that one, but you started lifting your chest too soon. Okay? So you got to hang on to it on the way up too. Lean over and stay leaned over on the way up longer than you want to. That one was better in terms of back angle, but it needed more hip drive. That was probably your best rep so far, but you're still shifting back onto your heels on the way up. So balancing over the middle of the foot, I can already tell your weight is on your heels right here. Yeah, so you're going to have to overcompensate here. Like I always say this, when you have a technical problem, you still feel like you're doing it right. So the right answer is going to feel wrong. So you have to let it feel wrong before it's actually right. Okay? You with me? In your case, you need to make it feel like you have more weight on the balls of your feet at all times. It's going to feel like you're on your toes because your default position is to be too far on your heels, right? So put too much pressure on the balls of your feet. When you lean over and shove your knees out, I want you to feel the weight on your toes, okay? And just kind of try and keep it there the whole time. And by overcorrecting, that's not the right answer. The right answer is balance over the middle of the foot. But by overcorrecting for a while, you will establish the right position, and then that will start to feel normal, okay? So in your case, overall very good. Lean over faster. More hip drive on the way up, like more aggressive pop with the hips. Stay leaned over longer on the way up. Don't lift your chest too soon. Just try and hang on to that back angle for as long as you can, as high up into the rep as you can. And then make sure you have more weight at all times on the balls of your feet. Okay, because you've got way too much on your heels. So try those things and then post another video and we'll keep going. All right, because we're getting there. You're doing a good job. We just need to, get a little bit more aggressive with these corrections. All right. Thanks for submitting, and I hope this helps, and we'll check back in real soon. All right, Dick the deadlift guy. Here we go, my deadlift man. Here's an updated squat. Well, okay, we're doing a squat. Final set is 160 kilograms by 5. I wanted to test how well I was grasping the tweaks by upping the weight to see if I could maintain the form. The first set was 140. Second set was 150. I've also ditched the extra volume I was doing on my intensity day. Attempting to incorporate your advice from last week, I have been combining taking a breath and puffing my chest up into one movement. Good. The setting your back and at the same time. And why is this little thing right here? Go away. Okay, I guess I have to leave that there. There we go. I think I'm still having trouble maintaining this in the ascent, but it seems to work on the descent. Also have been working on bending over sooner and getting better hip drive out of the bottom, and was experimenting with the various cues you suggested. What I found was that a variety of things, to try and remember, I was getting one or two of the things wrong during warm-up, so I tried focusing on finding the one cue. It seemed to help everything go right for me. I felt like I could achieve this by focusing solely on keeping my head down. Yes, imagining I was holding a tennis ball under my chin, I had to force myself to look properly down through rather than just holding my head neutrally, as this tended to result in looking up on the ascent. Anyways, this video is the result. Further comments welcome. Thank you. Yes, I have gotten shit on the internet before for pointing out that the head position and the movement of the chin affects the back angle and kills hip drive. And I stand by it. Every time I see a lifter flick his chin on the way down, but more importantly on the way up, immediately he starts to lift the chest. And if you this is like paying attention to keeping the weight over the middle of your foot at all times is like the master cue. It fixes all the other problems. Same thing, keeping your head and chin tucked and looking down at the floor fixes a lot of other issues that, a combination of minor things just get all corrected if you just get your head position right. So I'm glad that you had that realization. All right, so let's look and see what we're doing here. All right, back in Dick's dungeon. Here we go. Why isn't this loading? Okay, there we go. Let's kill the volume. All right, let's see what Dick's got going on. I'm gonna caffeinate. Tropical vibe. I feel like that's my vibe here in Boise. All right. Everything looks good so far. Okay, knees are caving in. And just like the last guy, you're trying to stay too upright. Getting out of the hips too early. Yeah, again, you're lifting your chest too soon. And again, taking too long to lean over. So it's hard. If we put a camera right behind you and we looked at your knees, you're going to see them move in like this. Okay. And that's a big one because that contributes to the circular motion of the hips. Yours isn't so bad. But like we were talking about with the last guy where the hips go back and up instead of just up, that is when the knees cave in, the hips shoot back and you get this circular thing going on. So let's watch it again. You kind of have the same issues as the last guy I just form checked, which is you need to establish the more horizontal back angle like right away. Okay. And in fact, you may even need to narrow your stance a little bit. I mean, it looks okay. It's hard to tell with the camera angle and stuff, but if the knees are caving in, sometimes narrowing the feet and focusing on, allows you to focus on jacking the knees out even harder. But I know I'm throwing like a million things at you that you need to fix. The knees are a big one, okay? And the advantage of the eyes down position, okay? And in your case, like oftentimes, and I squat this way too, I will have, like, we usually recommend people look kind of out here at the floor. For guys that have problems leaning over, and for people who have issues keeping their knees out, I will often have them look right here, like almost straight down, maybe 6 inches to a foot in front of their toes. And that helps a lot with leaning over if you keep your eyes down here, okay? But what it also does is it allows you to see what your knees are doing on the way down. So you stare at the spot in the center, but through your peripheral vision, you're gonna watch your knees. And if you see them move in at all, right? If you see them start to cave in as you get to the bottom, you have to, with your brain, shove them back out. You have to make them go back out and stay out on the way up. And over time, when you focus on that and you reinforce that sort of pattern with your brain, they will start to stay out more and you'll get more of a bounce, right? Your hips will go straight up. Like I said, when you slack the knees, or when the knees move in, it slacks the adductors and you're going to get less of a rebound. So if we watch I haven't even checked this, but like if we watch how bouncy your bounce is, if you know what I mean, it's probably going to be kind of minimal, because it's not going to be very springy, because if you let your knees cave in, yeah, it's just kind of like this slow little, like you go down and then it's all kind of the same speed. You go down and then you kind of go up, right? What we want is slow and controlled most of the way down. That one was a little better, but you're still kind of shifting back, and then that makes you lift your chest up. So let me just check the pressure on your feet too, because you might be pretty heel dominant here too. Yeah. So in your case, I'm thinking you're also gonna have to keep a little bit more emphasis on weight on the balls of your feet. I think you might have, not as much as the last guy, but I think you might have a little bit too much. You're too much sitting back, not enough knees forward. And you can think about that like weight on the toes, weight on the heels. So when you go down and when you start and you lean over and you shove your knees forward and out, you think toes, right? Because the weight's going to shift to your toes a little bit. And then by the halfway point, now you're thinking heels. So it's toes, heels on the way down. Weight on the toes, sit back on the heels. Weight on the toes, sit back on the heels. What we want is middle of the foot the whole time. But sometimes thinking about toes, heels helps to sort of show you what that should feel like. So as you lean over and shove your knees out, you're going to, a little bit of weight shifts, the majority of the weight shifts to the balls of the feet, and then you just keep going down, and as you start to reach back with the hips, that weight's going to come back towards the heel more, okay? So you need to do a couple things. Let me summarize this for you. So first of all, you're going to move your eyes down here. Okay, so like right in between the toes, maybe 6 inches in front of the toes, you're gonna keep your eyes there and you're gonna watch your knees. If you see them pull in like that, you shove them back out, okay? And do that on all your warm-ups, practice that, because that will give you a more dynamic bounce. Oh, what I was gonna say, and I lost my train of thought, was the descent should be slow, 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 and then 2 inches above the bottom, you're gonna speed it up. You're gonna drop into the bottom. Don't get loose. Just let it go into the bottom so that you stretch out those rubber bands and the adductors and you pop up. So it should not be this consistent speed all the way down, all the way up. It should be slow and controlled on the way down, and then right above the bottom, you're gonna speed up into the stretch, and so that you can pop out of the stretch with some speed, right? Because once you hit that bounce and the natural stretch reflex starts to carry you up, that's when you're driving, right? That's where you focus all your effort on driving your hips up so that the momentum carries you through the danger zone. the sticking point, which is like a couple inches out of the hole. You want to be able to, you got to come out of the hole with enough momentum and pop that it pulls you through that area in the middle where you're going to get stuck. Because if you can make it through that, then you can finish the rep, right? Like no big deal. But if it's just this consistent speed all the way down and all the way up, you're not really utilizing that rebound. Okay? So you're going to establish your back angle sooner. Like just get aggressive. Just lean the hell over. Like nipples to the floor. Like, yeah, you're see the back. Okay, so see the back angle that you take. Like here, you're above the bottom, right? But you're probably halfway down at least, maybe a little more. And the angle is like this, right? I mean, that's almost like a 90-degree angle, okay? But when you get to the bottom, you should be more leaned over, right? Like that, that angle needs to close. So you want to be more leaned over earlier so that you can just carry it. You can just maintain all the way down, all the way up. So set it right away. Like just dive for the floor, touch your nipples to the concrete right away. And then the rest of the rep, like the majority of the descent, that angle is set, the knees are set, and you're just moving this angle up and down and then hanging on to it on the way up, right? So lean over a lot, right? Get the knees forward and out and lean over at the same time, and then carry it down, maintain, and then out of the bottom, we get that little pop with the hips. That angle locks back in. You're still as leaned over as you were all the way to the top. And then when you get near the top, you're going to stand up. Okay? Lean over, stay leaned over. And let's just see if there's anything. And then watch the knees. Okay? Yeah, the knees are a big one. So those have to be out at the bottom. Okay, head looks pretty good here. And you're actually, I mean, it kind of looks like your eyes are where I want them. So, I mean, it does look like you're looking very close to straight down. So notice that. Notice the knees out of your peripheral vision, since it seems like you should already be able to see that. And really, it looks like you're keeping them out pretty well, most of it like at the bottom, but it's right as you come up that they start to cave in. Okay? So again, when you're doing pause squats as practice, that's one of the focuses, keeping the knees out as you start to drive up. Don't just think like, I got to the bottom and my knees were out so I can forget about them. They have to stay out on the way up, or you're gonna scoop the hips back, okay? Hope that helps. Lean over faster, keep the knees out harder, keep more of your weight towards your toes, a little bit more, and stay leaned over longer on the way up. And we'll try it again. But really, like, it's gonna feel wrong for you to lean over so much, but it's gonna be right. So just humor me and lean the hell over, like way more than you want to right away. Just nipples touch the concrete immediately. Okay, just try it and we'll see how it goes. All right, man, thank you. And work on it, post another video. We're gonna get this, man, I promise. Okay, moving on. All right, thanks for the form check. I'm really enjoying the program. It seems to be much more sustainable for me than others I've tried. Keep up the good work. Also looking forward to the upcoming ebook. I mentioned in another thread. So like I said, ebook coming out. It's another hypertrophy program. More news to come on that. Should be in a couple weeks. Okay, let's see what we got here. I don't even know what this is going to be. Maybe it's a bench press. Nope, it's a squat. All right. Okay. All right. So let's see. Stance looks wide. So I'm guessing you're going to have a hard time getting the knees out, but we'll see. Grip looks good. Bar placement looks good. Let's watch a couple of these and we'll see. Ooh, okay. Oh boy. Did you see that? Watch your foot. So notice the foot position that you set. Okay. So you've got one foot kind of, oh, this is bad. That'll go away. You've got one foot like this, and then you got one foot kind of like out more, like that. So your feet are, they kind of look like this. So you want to make sure that you bring this heel in like that, so that you have this even, you know, about 30, 40 degrees out. Okay, you want those to be as identical as possible. So don't neglect that. It looks to me like you're kind of going to rush through this set, and we'll talk about, I'm probably going to tell you to slow it down, but let me watch the set, see what I find. So you can see your foot still moving around. Depth is good. Hip drive's pretty good. Depth is actually like, you've got a lot of range of motion around there. Like you can get deeper than you need to. So let me watch a couple more and then I'll make some comments. Yeah, you're getting out of your hips a little too soon here. So it's not bad. Like this is a pretty good squat. That way too deep, way too deep. Yeah, you can watch your knees too, just like the last guy. You got this knee cave on the way up, which is, yeah, you can see you can see your left knee kind of scooting in every time. So in your case, the main thing I would focus on is slowing this down a little bit, right? You're kind of amped up going through this set, and this isn't really that heavy for you. Obviously, it looks like you could have done 10 of these. So take a little bit more time, right? We want controlled aggression here. So I'm not saying don't get psyched up, but it's more important to me that you have this like methodical approach to every rep. So every rep is identical, and you're going to take your time in between each rep to get yourself back in the start position, think about the things that you need to think about, get real tight, and then you're going to take the rep down and up, and it's going to be almost robotic, right? Not sloppy, tight, controlled. The effort and the explosion and the intensity that you're going to bring to the set is going to come after the bounce, after you come up out of as you start to come back up. That's where you want to turn on the juice, right? And give yourself some power coming up. But everything before that, you're almost like in a mode where you're maintaining your energy, right? Where you're conserving all of your gas for the moment when you need it. Okay. So, because, you know, gravity takes care of down. You don't have to worry about whether or not you can get down. You just have to worry about kind of controlling everything, conserving your energy, and then when you hit the bounce, you're going to fire it up. So you're kind of a little loose here because you're just rushing through these pretty quickly. It's not bad, but like that descent is probably a little bit faster than I would want. And I'm kind of nitpicking here because overall this is very good, except we'll talk about the feet and the knee. But overall your form's pretty solid. So don't try and slow down the descent a little bit, right? Because if you drop that quickly, you have to, in order to fall fast in a rep, whether it's bench press, squat, overhead press, well, I guess overhead press starts from the bottom, but in order to lower the weight quickly, you have to loosen up. And we don't want to be loose ever. We want tight. So think about, like in the bench press, we always talk about like pull the bar down to you. Don't let it like fall and bounce off your chest. Like stretch it down, control it, and then explode up. Same thing here. Control that descent so that you can maintain that, you can calibrate where the weight is on your foot, right? If you just fall real fast, things get sloppy, and you have to loosen up to do that. So I would try and make the descent a little slower, focus on keeping the knees out real hard. And that's the other thing. When you're loose, the knees are going to cave in because you're not, if you keep them out, you kind of have to slow things down. Otherwise, when you drop quickly and you loosen up, they sort of pull in naturally. So let's see here. Yeah, and you're getting a little deeper than you need to. But the thing is, your stance is pretty wide. So if we widen your stance more, it will bring up the bottom, but I don't think we should do that. I think you're just one of these rare guys that just needs to kind of cut it off. Make sure the knees are out as hard as you can. Keeping those out will bring up where the adductors finish their, or the limit of that stretch. So if they cave in, you're going to be able to go lower. If you shove them out and keep them out, you'll feel the bounce a little bit higher. So in your case, the main thing here is you got to get the feet right. So again, turn this foot in, rotate the heel in so that they're even, and then make sure as you're slowing the rep down, you can make sure that really you're jacking your knees out as hard as possible. You're really leaned over. And on the way up, the hip drive's good, but you're kind of lifting your chest a little too soon. So I think if you take a more horizontal back angle, like you lean over a little bit more on the way down, you keep the knees out real hard, you get that heel corrected, and you stay leaned over longer. Like that was good depth. Anything lower than that, I think is unnecessary. And watch that head. It's moving up very slightly, but it's not bad. Just make sure that you're focused on keeping the chin tucked. Yeah, really, I think the main issue here is going to be that left leg. So that knee and the heel are making it so that the knee is much easier. If you angle the toe out and then shove the knee out over the toe, you're going to get a much better stretch, okay? If the toe comes in, the knee's going to pull in, and so you got one knee going this way and one knee out like that. Okay, we want this, especially in your case where you have that unusual flexibility. Keeping the knees out is going to be a big deal. So slow down the descent, turn the heel in, shove the knee out harder, keep it out, and just stay leaned over as long as you can on the way up. And I think you're going to be good to go. And so work on that, and then let's see like a heavy set, because this looks like a warm up. All right, man. Hope that helps. Overall, very good. And thanks for the support and the compliments on the program. I'm glad it's working for you. We'll keep going. Feel free to post another one, maybe a deadlift, and we'll go from here. All right, let's move on. Okay, my man Miguel, here we go. Squatted 364 yesterday for my intensity day. I feel pretty sick, and I'm getting this is like COVID sick. Oh, tested positive. Any tips coming back from in 2 weeks? I was running a frequency deload on my upper and lower 4-day Texas method. Okay, we'll talk about coming back in 2 weeks after we do your form check. Okay, hang on. Where's my volume? Oh, it's up here. They keep moving the volume on all these things. Okay. Well, these are good. Bars in a great place. Okay. That one looked a little shallow, but you know, you're getting towards the end of the set. All right, so I'm gonna let this loop and we'll watch again. So if you watch your knees here all the way down, I mean, the way you're built, your knees aren't gonna travel that far forward because of your dimensions and your anthropometry. But if I'm gonna nitpick, because overall these are very good squats. I would say two things. I would say, I mean, the hip drive's good. So what's going on with your head here? You can see, head's not bad. It's not moving much. Good hip drive there. I mean, so, okay, I'm going to nitpick these because you overall, you have these are very good. So if I had to come up with some things for you, one would be to watch your head movement. I can see it's kind of, your head's moving around a little bit on the way down, on the way up. And that just indicates that, you know, that's going to affect your balance. It's going to affect your hip drive and your back angle a little bit. So I would just pick a spot. You can even take like a small fractional plate and just put it down in front of your toes, maybe a foot in front of your toes, and just stare at it the whole time. So you don't want your head moving at all, okay? Yours isn't that bad, but I do see your hair kind of flicking up and down. So keep the eyes just pinned on a spot on the floor. No motion you don't want anything from here to here, right? From here to here. Nothing in this area here should move, change, deform. Head shouldn't move. Elbows shouldn't move up and down. Wrists shouldn't be moving. The only thing that happens is that whole segment just goes more horizontal and then more vertical. That's it, okay? And again, you're doing great, but just focus on keeping that head, maybe the eyes pinned like right here, okay, the whole time. And knees are doing well. Like they're not sliding that much. I don't think you would ever have that problem just based on your dimensions. But I do think you could lean over a little bit more, a little sooner. Just like, I mean, so far we're going 3 for 3 on these, but all the form checks today have been guys trying to stay too vertical. You are going to have a more vertical back angle just again, because of the way that you're built. That being said, you still, the quicker you can establish however leaned over you need to be at the bottom, the higher into the rep that you can establish that back angle, the more you're going to get a good stretch in the adductor muscles. So you want to, if I was going to yell at you, if I was standing there coaching you, I'd be like, just lean over faster, nipples down, just get the hell leaned over. You want to, like right away, you want to establish that position. So let's see what position you take at the bottom. Okay, so that's maybe a little high, but see, you're pretty vertical here. More than the other two guys we just corrected. And that's just a matter, like you're never going to change that. That's just how you're built. So you're kind of here, right? And let's see how long it takes you to hit that position on the next rep. Yeah, I mean, you don't have very far to go. That's the thing. So if you got a guy with, what is it? Like a short torso and long legs, he's going to be fairly upright at the bottom of the squat. And if you have the opposite, long torso, short legs, he's going to be very leaned over, very horizontal. So you're probably all legs, short torso, and that's fine. It is what it is, which just means you don't really have that far to lean over. So you're doing a pretty good job here. But if you can just think about getting a lited bit more lean, I mean, I'm really nitpicking here because these look pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, but you see how you look up every time and then you look down at the end of every rep, you look forward and then you look down. Just get in the habit of keeping your eyes on the floor. But I would say of the lifts that you've posted, this is probably like your best one. And you've got this bar in the way, this safety pin. So it's kind of hard to tell exactly if you're hitting depth, but it looks pretty good. Looks like you lifted your chest a little early on that one. But the back angle there is really good. Yeah. All right. Recap. Head down more, lean over a little bit faster, and just like lean over, stick your ass back, and stay leaned over as long as you can on the way up. Try and hang on to that back angle all the way to the top, and then just the last couple inches you stand up. Really good, man. Really good. So thanks for posting, and hope it helps a little bit. Not a whole lot to fix. Oh, okay. Any tips coming back in 2 weeks? I was running a frequency. Okay, so the rules or the general advice for missing workouts, if you miss one workout, 2 workouts, just try and repeat what you did last time. If you're out for 2 weeks and you're sick, which means you're probably not eating, and who the hell, you're going to want to come back. And 2 weeks, I'd say you could just take your intensity day down maybe 5% and see, and then adjust volume day accordingly. So take 5% off your, it also depends on what you were getting. So if this was, you squatted 4 at 364. So if 364 was it is your intensity day. Okay. So if 364 is your intensity day and you got 4 and you take 2 weeks off, I would say, maybe go down to 345 or something like that and see if you can get 5. The alternative is you can go back to 364 and just try and do like 1 rep, or just see how 1 rep feels. And then the next time, don't go up and wait until you hit 5 or 3 to 5 or something like that. So then, do 364, maybe you only get 1 rep, but that working with the intensity close to where you left off will help get you back on track faster. So if you're particularly run down, you could just go down to like 325, 345, see how that goes. If it felt pretty easy, maybe make 10-pound jumps working your way back up, but you're just going to have to back up a little bit, maybe back up 2 weeks from where you left off and just start back again. So nothing very complicated. Take a little bit of weight off, on volume day, and then just work your way back up. 2 weeks isn't that long. You won't lose a bunch of muscle mass. It's just going to feel like shit the first workout back. So if you're not, you're going to have the same muscle tissue. It's just, you get rusty with the lifts and everything feels awful. So I always tell my clients when they come back from a break that expect this workout to be terrible. The mistake that most guys make is it feels terrible the first day back, so they just take a bunch of weight. They reset more. But no matter what you do that first day back, it's going to feel terrible. If you stay close to the weights that you were using prior to your break, the following workout you'll be like almost back on track. So you just have to get through that first shitty workout, know it's going to be shitty, do your best, try and get at least a rep or 2 close to where you left off. And then the following workout, you'll be like, okay, I feel good again. But so many guys take like 10% off, even more sometimes, just because it feels bad. And they don't realize that the next workout would be significantly easier. So that's my advice. Back up a little bit, and then you can make 5 or 10-pound jumps sometimes, depending on how that first day back goes. So good luck. Keep us posted, and we'll keep going. All right, 2 more. Hey coach, I've been doing more of a high bar style squat for the past 2 years or so, but the knees have been bugging me lately, so I'm trying to switch to hip drive, low bar squat. This is week 2. Okay, I'm wondering if this is the guy. We had a guy complaining about knee pain and high bar squats. So let's see. All right, let me kill the volume. And, we got a lot of weight on. Good Lord. What are you lifting here? What is 405? That's 4 or 5 plate. 1, 2, 3, 4. 405. I'm assuming those are 5s, maybe 10s. All right. Nice. Okay. Sorry, I got excited. We don't get a lot of weights that are this. All right, so here we go. So you're doing low bar. That's a cool gym. Oh, okay. All right. Depth is good. Man. All right. So this is awesome news because you got a big error in your squat. Big problem. And the reason I'm excited is because you are lifting a lot of weight incorrectly. So hey buddy, Clint is here. Everybody say hi. He wants to help with this one. Yes, that's a lot of weight. He's excited about that. Okay. So you are lifting a lot of weight incorrectly. Like you've been doing it wrong, and you've still managed to get, over 400 pounds on the bar, which is awesome. And the reason that it's exciting is because, when you make this one correction, you're going to be able to lift a hell of a lot more weight. Okay. So like, you're going to blow past this. So that's good, right? This is my favorite kind of problem to fix, because we can fix it pretty quickly. You may have to back up a little bit to get used to it. But once you dial in the correction I'm going to tell you in a second, you're going to be squatting a lot. So this is cool. All right, let's talk about it. So it's all about the ascent. So your head's down, you got the bar in the right place, your knees look pretty good. If I could nitpick, I'd say make sure you shove them out harder and you keep them out at the bottom because they're gonna track in a little bit. Yours isn't bad, but I'm just gonna say it. Focus on knees out as hard as you can at the bottom and keeping them out as you drive up. The big problem is how you're coming up out of the bottom, which is you're just lifting your chest right away. And it's probably from all that high bar squatting, right? Because with high bar and even more with front squats, the hip drive is sort of minimal. The reason that we want to do a low bar squat is because we can use hip drive, more of it because of the more horizontal back angle. And with more hip drive and more muscle mass involved, you're gonna lift more weight. So you're not using any hip drive. So if we watch the next rep, what I want you to pay attention to is, oh, hey, you got the Baker barbell shirt on. So funny side note, my ex-wife designed that logo for Andy. So I was there during the development of that, and she did an amazing job, and it's a very cool logo, and she's awesome. So, okay. So watch your chest and watch how your back angle changes when you start the ascent. And you'll notice that you just go to the bottom and then you just stand up. Your shoulders and head immediately and back immediately start becoming more vertical. So watch this rep. See, even your head lifts up, okay? You're great leaned over, and then it's head, and you just try and stand up. So that means no hip drive. Hips are where all the power is, right? So when we tap into that power, you're gonna lift a hell of a lot more weight. So let me see if I can find an example from my little bank of good examples of hip drive. Let's see. Okay, well, here's one from an online client. He probably doesn't know I'm using this, but whatever. And he has I saved this as an example of hip drive. So watch his hips, like as he gets to the bottom, just watch his butt and let's see what happens. All right, so he's gonna go down. We're all looking at his butt. See that pop? See how his ass moves up first, not his shoulders? That's what we want. You get that little pop, and then the back angle locks back in, but he's not lifting his chest until he gets closer to the top. Right? Boom. That's a great, that's why I saved it, because it's excellent hip drive. I'll pull up another one. My man Josh. So Josh is a starting strength coach. He grew up in Ripeto's gym, and in my mind, he's got one of the prettiest squats I've ever seen, and he should. Let's see this. Oh, this one's more weight. I don't want to take anything away from Josh. I know he was like recovering from an injury, so we'll get at least 405 on the bar. All right, so watch Josh's squat and just notice the back angle and what moves first out of the hole. Boom, hips first, right? Back angle stays the same. And notice the control on the way down. He's really controlling, and then just watch his butt. Right out of the bottom, he's leaned over and he's driving his ass up. Okay? That's all you need to do. So when you're down here, okay, there's the bottom. This right here, this area, this low back goes up like that. That's all you're thinking about. Not lifting this. Not taking this back angle here and making it more horizontal, right? This stays, this back angle, and this pops up. Make sense? Let's just watch it. We'll watch, oops. Just watch his butt. Boom, okay? So that's all you gotta do. You have to lean over. You do exactly what you're doing. But when you get to the bottom, I want you to imagine that barbell is sitting across your low back, right? Kind of like below your belt. Are you even wearing a belt? You're not even wearing a belt. Dude, dude, get a belt. Get a belt. You'll lift a hell of a lot more weight that way. Okay, and so you go to the bottom, and you're just gonna stay leaned over. You're gonna hold on to that back angle, and you're gonna focus not on lifting this, not on throwing your head back. Head stays down. See, you can even see where your chin is. Your chin's kind of up here, right? I want you looking here at all times, head down, chin tucked, leaned over, eyes down here the entire time. And you're gonna stay leaned over, and you're gonna push this up first, okay? And then after that initial pop, that back angle stays constant all the way up. And then right before you finish, right before you get to the top, then you stand up. So you're gonna lean over, and you're gonna stay leaned over as long as you can on the way up. And the way that you get out of the bottom is you drive your ass up. Don't lift your chest. That when you lift your chest, you kill your hip drive. Hips are where the power is, okay? Get a belt, keep your knees out, way more hip drive, stay leaned over, and I can't wait to see where you take this, because you're doing great weight-wise. You're a real strong dude. And once you dial in that form, it's gonna be like, you're just gonna leave us all in the dust. So thank you for submitting this. This is great. I'm excited. And let's keep going. Try it. And post another video, and like I said, you got to work on this with your warm-ups. You might have to take a little bit of weight off, but honestly, like with this, a lot of error corrections, you have to back off the weight to fix it. With this one, as soon as you feel it, they're going to move faster because you're automatically using more muscle mass, and you're doing the lift correctly, more efficiently. So like, you don't really need, once you feel it, you'll be like, wow, that rep was like way faster than the rep before. And as you go through these and you start learning how to use your hips more, you're gonna see, you're gonna notice like the difference from one rep to the next. So, you're not gonna do it perfectly on all 5 reps. And so you'll have one where, maybe they're moving smoothly, and then one just goes real slow. You went back to the old form on that one. Anytime you feel it like stick, you lifted your chest, okay? As far as knee pain goes, that's probably all related here, because, your knees are caving in a little bit. They're also sort of tracking forward on the way down a little too long. So you might want to check out, in terms of establishing knee position, I have a video on YouTube, if you haven't seen it yet, called Let's Get to the Bottom of Your Squat. And I explain what the knees and the hips are supposed to be doing on the way down. So knees going forward and out, hips going back and down in that order. So check out that video if you haven't seen it. It's one of my more popular videos, but it breaks down establishing that knee position, which is something you're gonna need to do too. But the main thing is working on that hip drive. So get a belt, and yeah, man, let's keep going. I'm excited about this because you're gonna lift a lot of weight when you dial this in. Okay, post another video and we'll keep going. Last one of the day. We are at 53 minutes. My man, SniperMeat. I wonder what that's all about. Okay, SniperMeat back. I submitted 2 weeks ago. As I mentioned then, I've been rehabbing a shoulder injury and my weight's dropped quite a bit. I thought a form check from back when I was healthy could be helpful as well. All right, so this was 158 pounds, body weight, doing 5 at 370. Thanks, I know the angle isn't that great. Okay, so we're going to the hits. Like, I used to be able to lift this, but now I can't. All right, all right. Oh, lovely garage. I wonder where that is. Okay. Oh, we got a great t-shirt. Look at that. Horn Strength and Conditioning. This is a t-shirt from my old gym. Love it. All right, here we go. Let's see. Oh, wait. Oh, we got some clutch playing. This man has excellent taste in music. How do I turn the volume down on this? Oh, there it is. All right, I don't want to get pulled off of YouTube for copyright violations. All right, let's watch my man SniperMeat here. Just crush 370. The wiggle. Boom. Tight. Good. Are we doing 2 more? I love it. Let's go. Bars on the legs the whole time. Tight. Again, I mentioned this last time that that my man SniperMeat posted. But that pause between getting tight, right, setting your back and pulling is essential. You don't set your back and pull at the same time. The bar will swing away from you and you won't be that tight. You set your back, you hold it for a second, you make sure you're tight, and then you push with the legs. Then you try and break the bar off the ground. And he's doing a great job with that pause. So we take our grip, he's gonna get tight and he's gonna hold it for a beat. Boom, and then he goes. Just a beat, just a little beat. Now I would like to see at the top of the rep, locked out, chest up, shoulders back, hold it there for a second, but we're doing a set of 5, so we're gonna kind of try and go through these pretty quickly, right? The shoulders are kind of rotated forward at the top. I mean, it does have a lot of weight, so that's a good lockout right there. That's 3 white lights in a competition. Good. Let's watch this last one. Let's see that pause. Boom. Boom. Excellent set of deadlifts, man. Textbook. Someone must have known what they were doing. The guy that taught you how to deadlift must have been like a fantastic coach. That's my client, Justin. From my gym in LA. And yeah. Looks good, man. All right, guys. We did it. Under an hour. Got through everybody. And hopefully we all learned some things. So thank you, guys, as always, for continuing to post. Like, you know, if you guys want to throw videos up, throw them up. If I don't have enough time or there's too many, I will handle it. I'll skip you if I've done you before, something like that. But right now, this is fun for me, helps keep me sharp, helps you guys, and that's what it's all about. So thank you, and I will see you in a week. Take care, guys.